what's going on, y'all? So as you can see, we got a review for Stargirl season 3, episode 8, titled Infinity Inc. Part 2. Now I know I missed part 1, but that's because of work and everything. Forgot all about it. And then when I was watching wrestling, I was like, oh crap, Stargirl. So I remember I went back. Luckily, only missed the one episode, part 1. So I watched part 1, watched part 2. Part 1 was good enough for me to say in everything that happened, I gave part 1 like a 6. Yeah, part 1. No, you know what? I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7 because it was good. Because I love the build up to it. I love the whole suspense and everything, and them trying to get the cameras out and stuff. But this is a review for part 2. So let me give you a synopsis for part 2. Then I'm gonna give you what the review of it. Here we go. Desperate to avert a major crisis on their hands, Courtney intends to help a friend navigate their powers. Pat and the Shade must face their worst fears. And I mean, man, when he was talking about the Shadowlands messing with you, they do. He said the Shadowlands is basically like a parasite. It feeds on your inner insecurities and worst fears, and that every door going to basically lead until they can find the right door to get out of there. It's going to lead them to it. And that we got to see, and I love that they used this to flesh out Pat's history with his own father, how history is somewhat like repeating itself with him being neglectful towards his son. You know, all that made for, I like all that. The whole subplot for that was good. Though I would have wished we would have a little bit more time in the Shadowlands with Pat and them, but for what we got, that was good. But on the other hand, back at Helix, we see the growing, both Jade, I think that's her name, and Green Lantern's daughter, and his son. We see that powers how more out of control is getting, and basically we see Courtney interacting with Dr. Love and God, I forgot the Skull guy's name, but I'm glad my boy Keith David was doing the voice for him. I like Keith David, man. He's a good actor. And for those who don't know, he's he's famous for being the voice of Spawn in the animated series for Spawn too. But anywho, I love that, how it was tension. It was a possibility that whoever was watching them was Helix. And I like how the episode did that. How it kept that in your brain while focusing entirely on Jay and how to help her brother. And we see the history of Jay and her brother some more, and we see that Courtney basically convinces them, Dr. Love and Keith David's character, that Courtney wanted to basically believe that if she helps her brother, they would get both their powers under control. And that's what they end up doing. They end up helping her brother. By reuniting them and stuff like that, they end up helping them and basically helping them get their powers under control. Won't tell you specifically how, but yeah, part of it was reuniting them. But this was all they had to do this because it was the only way for Pat and the Shade to get out of the Shadowlands. And like I said, that was one of the best scenes was in the Shadowlands with basically we're seeing what Pat went through himself as a kid. And how he's reminded that he's doing the same thing to his own son. On the other hand, while we get to see that, we get to see Courtney's new resolve about her role as Stargirl and about her friends and stuff. Though I don't think her friends at all, besides for her mom and her brother as Shadowland people, I don't think nobody really appeared in this episode other than basically focusing on Jay, Courtney, and the whole Helix situation. They might have appeared at the end, but I'm not sure. Uh, I think they do appear. I don't. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. But the episode itself was good. I enjoyed the episode. Even the resolve from Courtney, the now with the and then Courtney even telling her father, yeah, I understand. Like she realized that her father was like not being talkative or whatnot, and she realized it's the Shadowlands. It's what the Shadowlands does to you. Anybody knows what it's like to be in the Shadowlands and then leave because she knows that what it does actually, how it could affect you. And pretty much Court. I also like the fact that Courtney found out that how she found out that Helix wasn't behind it, but that we got to see some of the Helix people too. It was either part 1 or part 2 where they introduced some of the comic book characters like Penny Dreadful and Critter and all of them from Helix. That they probably gonna play a big role next season. But yeah, but basically the episode ends with Courtney and them headed back to Blue Valley to deal with whoever really is behind the security cameras. This episode was good in itself in its entirety. Obviously, there was stuff I left out just for spoiler reasons. I didn't want to spoil nothing, so there was stuff I left out. But the episode as a whole was good. Just like part 1. It wasn't. I want to say it was better. I want to say it was better than part 1, but it was definitely up there. And that I would give part 2 the same as I gave part 1, which is a 7 out of 10 big ups, just because it was a decent episode. It was a decent watch. And but if you don't watch both part 1 and part 2, it's something that you won't understand because you obviously got to see part 1. But it was a good 2-part episode, and I still can't wait to see what's going on. I would say this about Stargirl: this third season, season 2 had me in from start to finish. Third season was just like the first season, where it kind of started off slow, but I'm slowly getting invested into it. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed this review, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much you want to support the channel, guys, all you got to do is hit those buttons. And because it supports me, the YouTube algorithm. It helps the YouTube algorithm bring in more tribe members. And as always, hit any one of these videos or video, depending on which ending I use for this video, for more to see more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere because I got some reactions coming your way. So, peace.